Session 20, The Building Hand, Saving, Investing, and Long-Term Stewardship. Welcome to Session 20. I am Rich Abbott. This is the Steward's Mind, the final session of Week 4. We have covered the steward's posture, owner versus steward. We have looked at earning as vocation, spending as a spiritual practice, and giving as both theology and warfare against the scarcity mind. Today we look at the final two areas of the steward's practical financial life, saving and investing, the building hand. The hand that is not just managing what comes in and what goes out, but is actively constructing something that will outlast today's decisions. This is where stewardship becomes legacy. Part 1. Saving as foresight. The ant of Proverbs 6, verses 6 to 8, has no commander, no overseer, no ruler, and yet it stores its provisions in summer and gathers its food at harvest. The ant does not need to be told to save. The foresight is built in. It sees the coming season before it arrives and acts accordingly in the season it is in. This is what savings is, not hoarding. Hoarding is fearful accumulation that has no plan for deployment. Saving is foresight expressed financially. It is the steward saying, the future is real, provision will be needed, and I am going to act in the present so that the future is resourced. Most people do not save primarily because of income constraints. They do not save primarily because of spending habits, though those matter. They do not save primarily because they lack discipline. They do not save primarily because of the scarcity belief, the deep, largely unconscious conviction that saving is pointless because it will be lost or spent or taken, or that it never adds up to enough to matter anyway. That belief, not income, not discipline, is a primary barrier to saving behavior. And that belief lives in the lev and has been running the financial life exactly the way all the other thermostat settings run it. The steward who has done the work of the first 4 weeks, who has identified the belief, taking it captive, and begun the renewal process, is in a position to behave differently, not because the income is suddenly different, because the lev is no longer enforcing a setting that makes savings feel pointless. Start with what you have, not what you wish you had. 1% of income automatically transferred on payday before the money can be spent, then 2%, then 5%. The amount matters less than the practice. The practice builds the identity. The identity sustains the behavior. The behavior produces the outcome. The ant does not gather everything at once. It gathers little by little. And the provisions are there when the season changes. Part 2. The principle of compounding. I want to briefly address compounding because it is one of the most powerful financial realities in existence and one of the least intuitively understood. Compounding is the process by which growth produces more growth. When savings or investments earn a return, and that return is reinvested, the new total earns a return, which is then reinvested again. Over time, the growth is not linear, it accelerates. The longer the time horizon, the more dramatic the acceleration. This is why the steward who starts early and stays consistent produces dramatically different outcomes than the steward who waits for the perfect moment. Time is the variable that compounding rewards most generously. Albert Einstein allegedly called compounding the eighth wonder of the world. Whether he said it or not, the sentiment is accurate. The person who invests a modest amount consistently over 30 years will almost certainly outperform the person who invests a large amount over 10 years, because the compounding rewards duration over amount. The Proverbs principle of little by little, gathered consistently over time, is not only wisdom. It is the mechanism of compound growth described in agricultural language. The harvest is disproportionate to any single day's planting because the seed multiplies. Part 3. The Steward and Investment. The parable of the talents is an investment parable. The servants who are commended did not save the master's money, they invested it. They put it to work. They took on the risk of the market in the service of producing a return for the master. This is important because there is a version of Christian stewardship that says, be conservative, be cautious, protect what you have, do not risk. That version has the third servant as its hero, and Jesus explicitly rebukes that version. The steward is not called to bury the talent. The steward is called to invest it wisely, with understanding, with a long view, but actively, not as a gambler, not chasing speculative schemes, but as a manager who understands that preserved capital that never works is wasted capital. What investing actually looks like in practice depends on your situation, your time horizon, your capacity. A full investment strategy is beyond the scope of this session, but the principle is clear. The steward puts what has been entrusted to work, through retirement accounts, through index funds, through real estate, through business ownership, through whatever vehicle is appropriate for your situation. The vehicle matters less than the posture. The talent does not get buried. Part 4. Building for generations. Proverbs 13 verse 22. A good person leaves an inheritance for their children's children. Not children, children's children, 2 generations out. The faithful steward is not just managing for this week, this year, or even this decade. The faithful steward is building something that outlasts them. This is the long view that transforms everything. When you are building for your children's children, you make different decisions. You think about the habits you are modeling, the beliefs you are transmitting, the financial culture you are establishing in your household. You think about what the lev of the next generation will be shaped by, and you take responsibility for providing inputs that are different from the ones you received. Generational wealth is not about leaving a pile of money. It is about building a culture of stewardship, renewed minds, open hands, diligent habits, long view thinking that multiplies not just financially but in character, in faith, in the capacity to manage and give and build. That is the building hand's ultimate project. Part 5. Your Week 4 Declaration. This is the Week 4 declaration. Read it first and then say it with me. I am a steward, not an owner, of everything entrusted to me. I earn with diligence and integrity, using every capacity God has given me. I spend with intention, give first, save second, invest third, live on the rest. I live cheerfully, freely, and without fear, because my hand is open and my lev is renewed. I save with foresight and invest with faithfulness. I am building something that outlasts me. This is what the hand of faithful steward looks like. Looking ahead to Week 5. In Week 5, we move to the voice, the words you speak and the stories you tell about money. Week 5 may be the most surprising week of the 30 sessions because most people do not realize how much the language they use about money is reinforcing the very patterns they are trying to replace. The words you speak about money are either planting seeds or pulling them up. We are going to examine them and change them. Closing declaration. Say this. My hands are the hands of a steward. They earn well, spend wisely, give freely, save consistently, and invest faithfully. I am not building for today. I am building for the generation after the one after me. This is what faithful looks like, and I am just getting started. This is Rich Abbott. Week 4 is complete. I will meet you in session 21 for the start of week 5, The Voice. Free money mindset guide found at richabbott.com/guide.